In 1989, the third Indiana Jones film was released to rave reviews from fans and critics alike, and it was seen as a return to form after the rather mixed reception of the much darker Temple of Doom. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade will always be my favourite film in the series. From the amazing story to the great action sequences, let's explore why this film is truly epic. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I was very unwell at the time, going through a bad patch with my asthma. One Saturday afternoon, my dad said, "Right, kids, today we are going to watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade." I remember thinking, What on earth is that? I've never heard anything like this before. What is it?" So he popped in the VHS tape, I sat back, and I was just totally blown away. I can vividly remember the plane chase where the plane flies through the tunnel, chasing Indy in his car. The plane flying through the tunnel, the wings coming off, it's shooting through the tunnel and then it explodes. I also remember being completely blown away by the tank chase sequence. I thought that was just one of the best things I'd ever seen in my life. So after that day, Indiana Jones would become part of my life forever. As it turns out, at the time, my father only owned The Last Crusade on VHS and not the others. We had to record the first two films off the TV around Christmas time. I used to spend ages looking at the poster art on the old VHS tape, so before we get into discussing the film, let's explore that poster again right now. It is really one of my favourite movie posters of all time. It has Indiana Jones and his father central to the poster, catching the eyes of the audience. Up at the top of the poster, on the top left and right sides, we see the two sidekicks, and then down at the bottom, there is the villain of the film and the main love interest. However, the poster keeps the main villain a secret. It then depicts Indy on horseback being chased by a tank, army trucks, and other men on horseback. Although that specific part doesn't appear in the film, it's still truly an epic touch. Then swooping in behind Indy is a plane chasing and shooting at him. It depicts something of an epic chase or battle that we know we're going to have a great time with. Indy has his revolver drawn and is aiming again straight at us. At the time of the film's release, The Last Crusade implied the last epic adventure and the final film in the trilogy, and as the top of the poster says, have the adventure of your life keeping up with the Joneses. The film opens in 1912, and we are introduced to Indiana Jones as a young Boy Scout exploring the caves in Utah. He retrieves the Cross of Coronado from a group of grave robbers because it belongs in a museum. He is then chased out of the cave onto a massive circus train traveling through Utah. It is here that we see Indiana's first experience with some of his main character traits: his fear of snakes, the using of his whip for the first time, the scar on his chin, and then when the grave robbers finally catch up with Indy to retrieve the prize, the leader of the group places the fedora on Indy's head out of respect for him, and then we are given one of the greatest transitions in movie history. We cut to 1938, and our hero being punched in the face. Our hero has gotten himself in way over his head and in trouble once again. He is once again trying to retrieve the Cross of Coronado and finally put it in a museum where it belongs. After a scuffle on the ship on the Portuguese coast, he escapes with the cross and the ship explodes. Sometime after this, Indy is contacted by Walter Donovan and is asked to help him in his search for the Holy Grail. However, Indy is not interested and suggests his father help Donovan. But then Donovan informs Indy that they have already tried his father and that he has disappeared while in Venice, Italy. Indiana then sets out on a quest to find his father and ultimately the Holy Grail to prevent it falling into the hands of the Nazis. Now, I was in the Cub Scouts as a child, so immediately I loved this opening sequence to the film. I always wanted to have one of those hats that they wear. I just thought they were the coolest thing. Every first Sunday of the month, we used to do a Cub Scout parade sort of thing through the local church. And when I got home, I used to pretend that the couch was the train, and I used to jump on and off it, pretending I was falling into Lion's Den pits and a container full of snakes. Sometime after seeing the film a lot, I was given my uncle's old Indiana Jones cosplay items, so I would wear them, and they were always far too big for me, of course, only being a child, and I would crawl under the dining room table pretending I was exploring the catacombs.
What do you think you're doing? Get down!
Dad, we're well out of range.
The climactic action sequence of the film sees Indy, his dad, and Salah following the Nazi crusade across the desert to rescue their friend Marcus Brody from the Germans, as well as making it to the Canyon of the Crescent Moon before the Nazis to get the Grail. The Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword, a secret society sworn to protect the Grail, intercepts the Nazis first, and a huge battle commences. Taking this opportunity, Indy and Salah plan to steal horses for their party so they can get to the Grail. However, Henry Jones Sr. climbs into the tank where Marcus is being held and ends up being captured himself. With Marcus and Indy's dad now inside the Steel Beast, what follows is one of the greatest action sequences ever filmed. It's basically Indiana Jones versus a tank. He has to temporarily stop the main gun from firing. He does so by causing confusion in the German convoy and sends a car crashing into the tank head-on, blocking the main gun. He then uses a rock to jam the side gun, which then backfires and causes an explosion within the tank. The German Colonel Vogel then opens the top hatch and begins to shoot at Indy with his pistol. The two exchange gunfire, then Indy jumps aboard the tank. With other Nazis now joining the fight, it's an epic struggle to get Indy's dad and Marcus out safely. Once it's just Indy and the Colonel left aboard, the fight continues, only noticing last minute that the tank is heading to fall over a cliff. The tank then rolls over the side, with of course Indy narrowly escaping. It's an exhilarating action sequence, disabling the tank, jumping on the tank, being knocked off the tank, getting his father and Marcus out, and then it going over the cliff. The stunt work is absolutely top-notch, it's absolutely superb. It is an amazingly shot sequence, and definitely a major highlight of the film. It will certainly get your heart racing. When our heroes finally reach the Grail Temple, Walter Donovan shoots Henry Sr., and Indy now must race against time to find the Grail and save his father. He faces 3 final challenges. First, the breath of God, only the penitent man shall pass. Then, the word of God, only in the footsteps of God will he proceed. And then finally, the path of God, only in the leap from the lion's head will he prove his worth. The third is my favourite challenge because it basically is a bottomless pit and that you could fall to your death. You must take a leap of faith and believe a path is there and that you will be saved. This goes for anything in life. It's about taking that chance, taking that leap of faith, and believing in the forces of good and the positive outcomes in life, and that you will succeed. The ending of the film is so powerful. Elsa tries to steal the Grail and moves past the seal on the floor that the Grail Knight warned them about, and the temple begins to collapse around them. Elsa falls and Indy fails in his attempts to save her, but now he slips and his dad grabs his arm trying to pull him to safety. The Grail is stuck on a ledge and Indy feels that same moment of greed that Elsa did and tries to get the Grail. All the way through the film, Indy's father has been torturing him, calling him Junior, but for the first time we hear him call his son Indiana. He tells his son to let it go, give up the Grail, and implies that life is more important than treasure, their relationship is more important. You can spend your entire life searching for treasures, but the real treasures are your family and your children. Indy takes his father's other hand and is then pulled to safety. They escape the temple just before it collapses entirely. Our heroes then ride off into the sunset to that awesome John Williams theme. What can I say about this film that has not already been said a million times before? Honestly, probably nothing new. It's an incredible adventure and has such great themes and amazing plot points and of course incredible action sequences. Every time I watch it, it leaves me with such a happy, triumphant feeling at the end of it. You cannot help but have a good time while watching this film. Me and many others are fans of the Indiana Jones character, I think, because not only is he a clever, smart academic, he's also a hands-on adventurer, goes to amazing places, saves people and solves mysteries around the world, but he is also very human. He always gets himself into sticky situations and must use his wits and skills to get out of them. Like all of us, we all make mistakes and there are lessons to be learned in life. It is also so great to go on these roller coaster adventures with him. He is the ultimate hero and good will always triumph over evil. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and take care.